G'day Disco 3 lovers, Robert here. Quick video, stuck on the side of the road. Thankfully it's a lovely day, birds are chirping, and I found myself a disused driveway to work on. So what's happened is that I adjusted up my park brake, and whilst I had a peek at the it's very dark in here, I don't know if you can see this. Disc brakes, your park brake got used a few times, and then I'm driving along and I can feel an issue, and I felt like a flat tyre. Convinced I had a flat tyre. The car's starting to sort of jerk and wobble and whatever else. Not wobble, but quite a jerky action. Pulled over, no flat tyre. And that's better. What transpired is that my left rear park brake has, for whatever reason, decided to jam up on the car, and I could tell from the smell, and a lot of heat from this side as opposed to the other side. So I got off the main road, pulled down the side road, had a look, and have a look at what's come out. Been tapping with a hammer. Thankfully I just carry my tools with me all the time anyway, because that's what I do for a living. I repair machinery. Jacked up the car, and here we are. So I adjusted up to perfection. It all checked out fine. The car's been driving fine for the last week. Park brake hasn't been used much, but for whatever reason. So I suspect, and I had seen a comment somewhere, to check for dust. Like, they were very sure of themselves, but you know, I'd adjusted it up. Then decided to do the disc pads, and what I should have done, and this is what the video is about. Sorry, it's all gone dark there again. Whilst you're down here, you're going to do your brake disc pads. You're there anyway. Take the whole thing off, take the rotor off, and clean it out before, and have a look. Just have a look, because you don't want to be like me, stuck on the side of the road. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about is, just for anybody who's interested, obviously I've got it going pretty good now. I've backed it right off, and I think I'm going to like further unadjusted it than necessary. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to do the air suspension compressor and the rear struts, 293,000 Ks, and these are still, where are we, the original 4th, the 10th, 05, still the original struts, still the original airbags. So when I come to get back on the car, you know, I just won't use the park brake, or not much. I'll pull all that apart when I'm not on the side of the road, because it's slightly embarrassing, and fix that up. The adjustment here on the left hand side is at about pretty much 6 o'clock, and it's just a matter of getting there with a screwdriver and undoing that. Oh. You can hear it. There's still a bit of dust in there, or whatever it is. I think that brake, it's probably destroyed itself from the heat now, maybe. Yeah, I'm not too fast, just want to get back home and start working on other stuff. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is jacking. That's an 8-tonne bottle jack. After the scissor jack shit itself from lack of lubrication, I was stuck up in the Birdsville truck, 3 flat tyres. It wasn't even a hot day, it was like 25 degrees, but you get a real quick wake up call about being stuck out in the desert. If it was hot, nobody around, and you're stuck, and if you had no water, you're not going to last long at all. Very good lesson learned. Anyway, jack shit itself. What to do for a good replacement, because I just not a big fan of screw jacks. The lovely amount of travel is the real bonus with them. Anyway, 8-tonne jack, you notice how I've got it on, that's a bit of 45mm timber. Put the car in, what do you call it, in raise mode, up 50mm. Now I jacked it up, and I don't know if you can see, I'm actually on a bit of a slope here because it's on a driveway, and of course the car wants to roll. These things are a bastard to jack. That is the moral of the story, right? Because of all the articulation. You know, you go down 50 mil, you come up 50 mil, and then if you got super stuck, it'll go another 50 mil again. Huge amount of articulation, which is fantastic, of course, but you've got to take the bad with the good. The result is it's a bugger to jack. This car's really tilted over to the right. You can see actually I'm in neutral now to be able to do this with the rear axle to turn it, and I've got the front chocked, both wheels left and right. Just happen to have this timber with me. Fine, bricks are good in my preference because they're not really high enough, but it hasn't moved. Anyway, so this car started to roll over to the right even further, and started to take the jack with it, and the base was tilting over. Still had the wheel on, so if you're unsure, leave your wheel on until you get the thing up in the air, then take your nuts off. Don't take your nuts off or back them right off. Start jacking there, take your wheel off only if you find you've got an issue with your jack not being located properly. Take note of where it's located nice and central on the frame, and that it's nice and flat in the base and everything's sturdy. So what I did was I jacked it up, found I had a problem, put the jack back down, repositioned the jack, and you know, the car with the air suspension moving, I don't pull the fuse because I just can't be bothered, never do, and it might account for part of the issue. Put the car back down, and it was still in a bit of the roll position, repositioned the jack, and it's stayed fine. So between the park brake being stuck on and really, hey, pull it off, have a look before you just go willy-nilly adjusting it up, especially if it's been a long period of time, and the jacking. Alright, that's it. Take care. See ya.